Hi everyone, Cyberverse Prime here. Sorry if you hear a fan in the background. It is incredibly hot here today in my in the area that I live in. Very hot. But anyway, today I'm going to do a review on as you can see here, this is my Rise of the Beast collection. So today I want to take the time and review the movie itself. Transformers Rise of the Beast. I love the film. I'm just going to start off with that. I love the film. I think it's the best Transformers movie we've had in a long time. I like the consistency that it has of transformations. There are so many transformations that you see in this film. It's almost like you're watching a cartoon and you can't believe it's the live action movies. You see the Autobots transforming back and forth into car. You see them transforming into their robot modes, into their alt modes, and their beast modes to their robot. It's crazy. There's tons of transformations. Even if they do it only once or twice, it's fine. But not as many as I thought. I didn't think there was going to be so many transformations in this film, but there was. And I love how in the title, Transformers, they actually transform. It's not like in the previous movies where you constantly see the robots. I can't even remember. In the 2007 film, there were transformations, but not as much in this one. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen so many transformations in a Transformers movie other than Bumblebee. So I like how it's consistent. The transformations are there. That was goal number one for me. Was I wanted to see consistent transformations in the film, other than Air Razor, which apparently at SDC or San Diego Comic Con, there was a poll with Hasbro, not a poll. There was a questionnaire with Hasbro, a Q&A, something like that, and apparently, yeah, Air Razor never had a robot mode. They had to make this toy all on their own. That's why she's a heavy retool of the original, no, of the Air Razor mold from Kingdom. So that kind of sucks in a way. I was hoping that she would have a robot mode, but for whatever reason, the director decided to keep her in her bird mode, which her bird mode is cool, but it would have been nice to actually see the one and only character that we wanted to see transform, not transform. Everybody, well, then again, Freezer, this little dude, he never transformed either, so she didn't get the only short end of the stick, but it would have been nice to see Air Razor actually transform, is all I'm really trying to say, or maximize. But other than that, um, transformations, what else? Character development. How can I forget that? Character development for this dude right here, Optimus Prime. I actually really liked seeing a quote unquote younger Optimus Prime. I thought it was really cool how he didn't trust the humans at first. And, we kind of seen that before, but it's not to the point to where he wants to kill the humans. Thank God. So, him disliking and distrusting the humans is enough. That's honestly enough. I think that was maybe a little too much on, the Optimus plate, but personally, I didn't mind it. It wasn't that bad. Since I'm on the topic of Prime, even though this is supposed to take a younger Optimus Prime, I think I didn't like how he killed Scourge at the end. The quote that he said, the true time for me to show you the true power of a Prime, yes, was a callback from when Scourge almost killed him. When Scourge said Primus would be ashamed. Personally, I didn't like how Prime killed him. That didn't feel Optimus to me. Because I get how he was anger adrenaline. Yeah. The adrenaline and anger, fueled his fire, Primes, but when he killed Scourge, it kind of felt for me a little too Bayhem. Because I felt like it wasn't a good idea for Scourge to kind of die that way. Because it reminded me too much of Megatron's death in Dark of the Moon. And if that was a reference to that film, I get it, but I don't appreciate it. I really think that Prime needs to go back to his G1 routes. And I know that's coming from a Bayverse fan himself. But since this is going in a new direction, I kind of understand why some people are not really liking the way they're, making Optimus. They're making Optimus feel more Bayhem than he is, G1 Optimus Prime. And I know Peter Cullen didn't have any issues. As far as I know, he didn't have any issues on the set of this movie. And I'm glad Peter didn't have any bad experiences. But the way that Prime killed Scourge, I don't think that was a little too unnecessary. Yes, it could have been from him reacting to Scourge shooting at the panel and almost killing Elena. That's a good, valid argument, but still. Prime, if it was Optimus, if it was G1 Optimus would have gave Scourge one last chance before he would have had to show him his true power to surrender and leave Earth along with his master. But no, instead of giving him one last chance, he just completely takes his head off. Which, I know it was and it comes back to the line where he's like, first I'm going to take back Scourge's key and then take off his head. That, some people say that's badass. And that's not what Optimus is. Optimus is not badass. He's not a whooping boy for the Decepticons either, but back in G1, he was a noble leader. He always made the tough decisions. He always was, neglectant to use violence as he always used violence as a last resort. And that's what I really want him to be. But if it's just going to be Bayverse Optimus all over again, I can kind of see how many people are still stepping away from this franchise in terms of the live-action universe. Now, that may not be all Steven's idea. It could be Lorenzo's. I don't want to get into a debate with this, but yes, I'm glad Optimus in the end decided to trust the humans and use them at their advantage because, well, they've been here. Well, not use them to their advantage, but you know what I mean. At least they're useful in their act of the protecting the planet. But overall, the story, I like it, and I do like the film. The film is pretty good. It's a 9 out of 10 for me because Prime just felt a little too much of Bayverse. Now, in the moment when I watched the film, don't get me wrong, I loved it then, but re-watching it over and over, it just felt too Bayhem for me. And this is my personal opinion about the whole ordeal. Bayverse, leave that Bayverse. Leave Bayverse as Bayverse. Leave this new trilogy that they're supposedly doing, as its own thing. Don't add references to the original films, because then people are going to not want to watch it, because they're going to feel like, okay, it's connected to the original Michael Bay films, yada, yada, yada. So adding references to the Bayverse and what came... I mean, I get it. The Till R1 soundtrack, or the Arrival to Earth soundtrack, very nice to hear. I don't mind if they make soundtrack references, or, like the blade here on Prime. That's an obvious Bayverse reference. I didn't mind that. But when he ripped off Scourge's head, that's just my biggest nitpick, man. That was my biggest nitpick of the whole film, was Prime. And it's funny because I asked Foxatron a question, what was his biggest nitpick of Rise of the Beast? And it was eventually answered. It was answered in one of his Q&As. I can't remember which one. And he said the same thing that I'm saying. He said that his biggest nitpick of Rise of the Beast was Optimus. Optimus was his biggest nitpick in terms of his character in the beginning, I think. Which I will admit, but it was nice. It was refreshing to see. I liked it. Now, that's the things that I didn't like. This is the stuff that I did like. Mirage. Mirage was great. I loved Mirage. I loved how he kept picking with Prime in the movie. That was great. I love that. How he was mocking him and stuff like that. It was funny. I haven't seen anything like that in live action before, and I thought that was funny. Bumblebee massively sidelined. I mean, personally, you could have kept him alive throughout this film, honestly. That was the dumbest thing on... personally, this was the dumbest thing, in my opinion, about the film. Why were you going to kill off Bumblebee, but literally the next day he comes back? Like, that is the dumbest and fun... Like, he's been dead for 2 days in that film. He was dead for 2 days and then came back on the third for the final battle. That was dumb, but I get it. It was for the plot, for Optimus's character, and it was for Mirage to connect more to the kids. I get that, but personally, in my opinion, you could have kept Bumblebee alive in order to... because he could have showed up for the final battle anyway, and it would have been fine. Like, personally, if I saw Bumblebee in that roster for the final battle, fine. Personally, I don't care. I just think it was really dumb to kill him off just to bring him back at the end. But, if you guys don't have a personal nitpick with that, then that's fine. The Maximals, they were great for the little bit of time that we had them. Scourge is one of the best villains, man. I don't think he's as good as Sentinel Prime, but he's a good villain. Definitely a good villain. Lockdown was pretty good too, but Scourge, he's on the top 3. He made it to top 3. He's finally he's finally a villain that is pretty damn good. Well, Shatter and Dropkick, they were pretty good too. So, yeah. Scourge, loved him. I love Scourge. And then Optimus Primal. Primal being the guide for Optimus Prime felt a little awkward at first, but when I got that message in the second trailer, oh yeah, he's going to be the mentor for Optimus Prime. Hands down, I didn't care. I thought it was awesome. I thought him being a mentor for Optimus Prime was cool. I thought that was cool. Overall, my nitpicks with the movie, they don't I don't hate the movie, but I don't hate the movie. I don't love the movie, but I liked it. I'm in the middle of it. But I will admit, it is a top ranking film. And I don't know why it's only at 400 million or something like that in the box office. So far, this movie is the lowest box office Transformers film. Apparently, this movie flopped, which is surprising. I'm very surprised about that. But anyways, my overall rating of the movie is 9.5 out of 10. So, if you wanted to hear my thoughts, those are my thoughts and opinions of the film. But with the way that the direction that they're going in, it's good. I think that we should get a sequel for this movie. I hope we do, because apparently this is supposed to be a trilogy. And I would love to see the more of the Maximals and stuff like that. Dear God, please have Rat Trap and Dinobot in the movie, please. And this time, don't kill any of them off. Like, please don't do that. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say, guys. Is the movie is overall fantastic. I absolutely loved it, and I highly recommend that you all go check it out. It's really nice. So, yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. See you later.